Well, hello, my baby gorillas, and what has been happening just now in politics. So we're here just to talk a wee bit about last few weeks. I haven't spoken for a wee while, so I'm sure you've all been missing me, not half as much as I've been missing you. Hope you like this new funky decor. It's all good and down with the kids. So, what's been happening? So I'm just going to talk you through something just now. It's a little competition, or it's a wee informal competition, shall we say. I would like you to know, hiya Craigie boy, I would like to go over some symbols. And these symbols are not symbols, but hand gestures, should I say, that are proportionate or relative to a specific type of political ideology. So let's start with this one. What's this one? What ideology is that? I'll come back to it at the end. What ideology, political ideology is this? I'm sure that's going to get tweeted. And what political ideology is that? So let me go through them again, because I know that a lot of you are logging on just now. Obviously loving the new set. Looking quite funky, if I must say so myself. So, let me go through them again. What ideology is this? What ideology is that? What ideology is this? See if you know. I'm sure you'll probably get 2 out of the 3. Okay, so what are the 2 out of the 3? So let's go. I'm going to do it one more time because I know a lot of you are logging on just now. And just want to say hi to all my friends. So let me go through it again. What political ideology is this? Which political ideology is that? And what political ideology is this? Okay, this is relative to what I'm going to be talking about. Looks nice background. It's quite funky, isn't it, Craigie boy? It's good, isn't it? I'm quite enjoying this myself. Looks better than just the bland stuff. So, I'll explain the relevance of this, why I was going through this. So we all know that this is the communist ideology. I'm laughing because I watched a video about this a wee while ago and it was rather amusing. I'll put it in the link below. So that's the communist ideology. This is the National Socialist ideology. Obviously the Nazis. Or I think even the fascists had some sort of take on that as well. And this is the one that I don't think you'll know if you're not politically attuned, shall we say, or politically interested, or quasi-politically interested. Who did this in a courtroom after killing a lot of people? Only when I read about the Christchurch shooter and when I read the Christchurch shooter's manifesto down in New Zealand, I had listened to this thing about Nazbols, National Bolsheviks, which it's a very strange sort of situation, which I'll come on to in a minute. So the National Bolsheviks are a combination of ideologies between communism and fascism or National Socialism, and it's both in the socialist, authoritarian socialist part of the political compass. So I came across this ideology. Actually, it was a sort of funny take on it, which is probably not a very funny ideology, but it was a funny take on this sort of hybrid between National Socialism or fascism and communism, 2 of the largest mass murdering ideologies the world has ever known. And I read the Christchurch manifesto, shooter's manifesto, and it looked very disjointed from an ideological point of view, but not if you look through the lens of a National Bolshevik. So if he was a National Bolshevik, the shooter in the Christchurch in New Zealand, he would have been on the left of the spectrum, on the socialist authoritarian side of the political compass. If you haven't done your political compass test, you can Google it, put political compass test, and find out where you are on the political spectrum. It's always good to know. I am what would be called a classical liberal or a libertarian liberalist. So I'm very much in the centre, but in the libertarian side, I believe in freedom of speech and freedom of individual rights. So I came across this, and it seemed very sort of strange. There was sort of left and right things in the shooter's manifesto. It's unusual you get a manifesto from somebody that kills many, many people. So he said in the manifesto that he was interested, or the country that had the greatest ideological inspiration for the shooter was communist China, which would put him obviously on the left. But it didn't make much sense. So, as far as I'm aware and led to believe, having not been, I'm not an expert in Nazbol, National Bolshevik ideology, that the Nazbols believe in the communist economy and the nationalism of fascism and National Socialism, which is also on the right, but on the right of the authoritarian socialist ideals. So, I mean, it took me a wee while, but what's even more confusing about him claiming that China is his ideological spiritual home, I think he was slightly confused, because now China, although is a communist country in the fact that the ruling party is still communist, China, because obviously economically communism doesn't work, and it's proven time and time again. I mean, Marx was probably one of the worst economists that you could possibly ever see and ever come across. Always fails. But China, even though its party is communist, China has now embraced Adam Smith, Scotland's own Adam Smith, probably one of the greatest economists, or certainly one of the first economists the world has ever known, or certainly one of the best capitalist philosophers, or economists, should I say. And but China has now embraced capitalism as their chosen method for their economy, and that's why obviously it's booming. Same with India as well. India has very much a capitalist sort of society, and India is booming as well. So, I mean, it's very strange point, especially if he's a national Bolshevik, why he actually chose China as his sort of representative country, ideologically representative country, because China is almost like the flip of the Nazbols, where it's now economically capitalist, and it's actually economically capitalist but authoritarian but communist, and the Nazbols are the flip of that. So I don't know if he really knew that much about politics, but I think he's definitely an Nazbol anyway. So the reason that I'm talking to you about this, because I've already made a video on the Christchurch shooter, is that I saw somebody else, when I was looking at the Nazbol ideology and doing my research, I saw somebody else, and I saw them all doing this. So the National Bolsheviks, although somebody was saying they should be doing that, half Nazi, half communist, but they were doing this, so they were punching out like this as their ideological hand gesture for their politics. And I remember seeing that years ago, and I actually came across a picture of a guy doing exactly that. And I thought, oh my God, that's unbelievable. And that person was Andrik Breivik, who was the other shooter in Norway who actually killed people in the Labour Party, or children in the Labour Party went about shooting them in Norway, and also had a mass shooting as well. And if you look at Andrej Breivik, the mass shooter in the Norway, he is in court doing that. And until I saw the Nazbol people actually doing it, the people that were actually in Nazbol or National Bolsheviks, I did not have a clue that was their symbol. I remember seeing Breivik do it in court and I thought it was unusual. I thought it was just potentially some sort of white power symbol, until I actually saw the Nazbols doing it. Now, the National Bolsheviks are actually a political party, and they believe in the destruction, like Marx as well, and Engels, Friedrich Engels, who is Marx's financier. And Manchester Labour Party have got a statue to a person who was the first person to advocate genocide in the UK in Manchester Town Square. Friedrich Engels advocated genocide against the Scots, the Basques, the Bretons, and Manchester City Council Labour Party. The Manchester Labour Party have got a statue to a guy who advocated genocide against the Scots. So, also the National Bolsheviks want to destroy everything, like Western civilization, and build it back up again in this failed communist ideology, especially failed economically communist ideology. And that's also what the social justice warriors want to do. The SJWs, the feminists. I'm not talking about women who want equal rights. I'm talking about the new third wave feminists who are men haters, and they want the patriarchy. Keep going on about the patriarchy, although they've probably been very entitled people. Certainly not going through a great deal of difficulty, but yeah. So they're trying to tear down Western civilization. So it's very interesting. Two shooters in the other side of the world, where you've got the Christchurch shooter and also Breivik in Norway, could both potentially have been Nazbols, National Bolsheviks, which is a party. They are a party in, I think, in Russia and Serbia, the National Bolsheviks. So, very, very strange. So we've now got Miss Ardern in New Zealand wanting to take the guns from people in New Zealand. So let's just look at a few people who wanted to take the guns. Adolf Hitler wanted to take the guns from the actual civilian population. Stalin wanted to take the guns from civilian population. I think Chairman Mao wanted to take the guns from its civilian population. All of these in the left, and also what's his face in Cambodia, Pol Pot. So all of these people wanted to take guns from, and it's funny, not only is the Nazbols on the left, I mean the guy who did the Christchurch shooting was talking about him being an eco-fascist. And it's funny because Miss Ardern is in bed with the Greens, who are also, I mean, you've got to look at AOC in America, who's talking about the world's going to end in 12 years. I mean, that's a fanaticism, an environmental fanaticism that you're actually seeing from her as well. So, I mean, it's absolutely crazy just now, absolutely crazy what's actually happening. So, we could have two shooters who are both Nazbols that are getting painted as right-wing. Now, left or right is dependent on where you are on the political compass. If you haven't done your political compass test, just Google political compass test, only a few questions, and that will really give you a point of reference to where you are on the political compass. But it depends, left or right is dependent on where you are in the political compass, and where where it is literally on the political compass. Political compass is actually like a box split into four different sections. The socialist left, socialist authoritarian left, the socialist libertarian left. You've got the conservative authoritarian right and the libertarian right as well. So there's 4 different areas within the political compass. Actually, it's a sphere, it's more like a cylinder, because a lot of the things can be wrapped around in itself, and people from the extreme right and the extreme left can have similar opinions. It just sometimes different emphasis. Like intersectionality, which is anti-white racism, which the Democrats are now peddling just now. And you've got racism on the right against people who look differently, ethnic nationalism. So, but very fascinating. So Linda Ardern on the left, another left-wing individual, although democratically elected, but even Hitler was democratically elected as well, is wanting to take the guns. The Muslims have said to Ardern, who's stupid enough to put a hijab on, and a sign of women's oppression throughout the Middle East, misogyny, literal misogyny, and I mean, on steroids. I mean, there's nothing progressive about Islam. Islam is far right. It's far right conservatism. Nobody is advocating the killing of gays out with Sharia law, which we've now seen the Sultan of Brunei actually wanting to stone gay people to death, as well as people who want to leave this barbaric cult. So, yeah, so I mean, there's the Muslims pressuring Miss Ardern to actually now strip the individual of their right to defend themselves by taking their guns. Now, if you took every shooting out the world, so the ones in Australia, Canada, America, and put them all together, it wouldn't become to a fraction of those that have been murdered by left-wing governments throughout the last 100 years. Not a fraction, if you put them all together. The reason that America, the individual had the right to bear arms, was against a tyrannical state. And we all know that the left are tyrannical. There are tyrants in the right as well. I'm not saying there's not. You can see a lot of that in Islam as well. And but the tyranny of the tyranny of the state and the individual not being able to protect itself. That's what Miss Ardern has just done. She's putting all the guns in the state and not allowing any of the individuals to actually protect themselves on an individual basis, which is quite fly as well. The British government have done that as well. And they have banned individuals from actually carrying firearms. I mean, if you've got to protect yourself against a situation where the bad guy's got a gun, then you're going to be practically defenceless. So that's certainly a major issue there as well, and it feeds into the globalist mentality, and we already know that the corporatist globalists are now, and let's go on to Teresa May, the corporatist globalists are now actually now trying to overturn Brexit. I mean, there's another extension. We're meant to be out on the 29th of March. We're now into April. Another extension has been overturned, and we're going to be into June, and they might give us a flexible extension for another year. Only if you voted Brexit, you could only vote for the Brexit Party and UKIP. That would be your only two choices. If you voted Brexit and then vote for the Labour Party, the SNP, Plaid, the Greens, the Liberals, the Labour Party, who want to keep us in the single market and keep us in the customs union, which is obviously not leaving, isn't it? It's just not as the worst of both worlds. But I mean, the Labour Party is not exactly good in economics. All these young people wanting Corbyn to be in power when they don't realise that the Labour Party has nearly bankrupted the country the last twice it's been in, and the reason for austerity was because of the incompetence of the Labour Party. So, to me personally, it's more worrying to have a Labour government from an economic point of view than leaving in a no-deal Brexit. So, I mean, it's just absolutely bonkers what's happened. Absolutely bonkers. How you doing, Stevie? And so what we're doing, what's going to happen just now? Well, people think Theresa May's the worst Prime Minister ever. So she's not the worst Prime Minister, being a Remainer. She has done an absolutely blinding job of screwing up Brexit. I mean, if you got somebody and you want to get the most incompetent person you could ever find to actually screw up Brexit, you couldn't have done any better than Theresa May. She has came back after 2 years. I mean, we've been in nearly 3 years. 3 years, I think it is. She came back with a deal that was so bad that it couldn't get through Parliament. She's now talking to Jeremy Corbyn, who you just wouldn't like take your dog for a walk. And she's now talking about a customs union, which would mean that we couldn't actually facilitate our own trade deals, which would be not advantageous for us as well. And we could still have a zero tariff. The deal could be a zero tariff deal with the EU, which would benefit them because we import more than we export. It would benefit them. So that's certainly something that we could certainly look at, a zero tariff deal. But that would give us the opportunity to have zero tariff deals in other areas throughout the world. And people have said that if you're in the WTO agreements, then you couldn't actually do this. If you offered one country a zero tariff deal, you would have to offer all of them. So that would mean that potentially there would have to be 200 bilateral deals, because some people you might not want to give a zero tariff deal to, depending on how they were actually facilitating that zero tariff deal. But I would certainly be going out with the intention of giving zero tariff deals. The tariff is only a taxation that you're paying to the state anyway. So by putting tariffs on, if you put 10% tariffs on, that money goes to the actual state. For if you're buying a Porsche from Germany and they're importing, the government's saying, right, we're going to put 10% tax on that Porsche, then you're paying, well, say it's 60 grand, you're paying another 6 grand to the government. So that's an indirect tax, basically. So you would be better having a zero tariff deal. So, I mean, she's done a blinding job if she's a Remainer, which we all know she is. She's a Remainer, and she tried to screw up Brexit. I mean, she's done you couldn't actually praise her any highly. But just to the normal person, she looks completely incompetent because she has done such an absolutely terrible job in actually trying to deliver Brexit. So, I mean, she's been an absolute disaster as a Prime Minister. A disaster. I know her, so I don't, on a personal level, I don't like her personality. I don't like her. And she's a very cold, dispassionate person. And I didn't think she was going to be up to doing the job. But the reason that she was voted in, and this is very important, within the Conservative Party, there are different groups. And one of these groups, it's even more complex than this. There's a group outside the Conservative Party who Ken Clarke is the secretary of, and called the Bilderberg Group. This is a secret nebbishy group of industrialists and media tycoons. These get the guys like Tony Blair elected or Gordon Brown. They decide, not us, the people. They decide what our politicians should be and who's actually coming in or not. The way that they control it is they control groups within the Conservative Party. This is why the Conservative Party should split now. The ERG and those guys should split. Join with Nigel Farage's Brexit Party by all means, and that would give I like Gerard Baton as well. I think Gerard Baton's a fine politician as well. I would have Gerard Baton in there all day long. I don't think he made a mistake talking to Tommy Robinson. But I would the Conservative Party has to really split. But within the left of the Conservative Party, these are people like Anna Soubry, who's been accused of being a Nazi. I think she was shouting to everybody else that everybody else was fascist, although is not prepared to put herself up for a by-election in a seat that she's now misrepresenting. And but she's quite happy to shout for another referendum, a second referendum, because she didn't like the votes of the first one. And it should be noted, I just want to say this out of context, but it should be noted that nobody voted to be part of the European Union. And back in the 70s, we voted to be back, to be involved in a common market. So nobody up to just now has ever voted to be part of a European Union. So why we would need another vote? So we've never voted to be part of the European Union. We voted to be part of a free trade area, which I agree with. If we had a zero tariff deal anyway, it would effectively be a free trade area without a requirement for a customs union. But if we get to, well, I've totally lost my train there. If we are part of the customs union, it means that we're not going to be able to facilitate other deals. So back to Mrs May, back to the Conservative Party. So there's a thing called, the Bilderberg Group have got people in Parliament, but they are sort of a nebbishy secret force who manipulate. I mean, these are, we're not just talking about your guy down the local pub. We're talking about media tycoons, the CEOs, the people that can influence and manipulate the way that the actual politics work. Ken Clark is one of their guys. I think if Heseltine's not part of that group, he's certainly influenced by them. I think what do you call them? I can't remember, it'll come back to me. They're also part of the group as well. The guys that are meant to be the owners of the Bank of England, or certainly the unnamed shareholders in the Bank of England. So, there's a group called the One Nation Tories, or the Tory Reform Group. These are a group of Anna Soubry-esque, Chuka Amunya people within the Conservative Party. This is basically the Christian Democrats within the Conservative Party. These are the corporatist globalists. Now, there's only maybe about 150, 200 people of these, and some of whom have been parachuted in. So if I was to go along and say I want to be a Conservative MP, I would have to go to Conservative Central Office, and they would be able to, they select me before I go to the constituency. So the Conservative, and same in the Labour Party as well, they've parachuted in, like Yvette Cooper, people into Brexit seats, where the 70% Brexit, and she's trying to stop a no-deal Brexit in her constituency. I hope she goes at the next, or even have an internal deselection of her for her treacherousness. And I mean, she's basically backstabbed her own constituents, who are a 70% vote leave constituency, and she said we want to take no deal off the table. I mean, honestly. So these people are scanned before they actually take their MP seats, to see if these are Remainers or if they're Leavers. A lot of these are in secret groups prior to them, and have been basically sort of groomed coming up, and they already know who these people are. These people are groomed coming up in the actual Conservative Party, and then they're parachuted in to a local constituents. So some of these people don't even come from the constituents that are actually they're actually representing, and these people are then actually are remain MPs in Brexit seats, both for the Conservative and for the Labour Party. So they're able to actually misrepresent their constituency. It's just unbelievable. So that's what's happened. So we are now in a situation with a Remain Parliament who are now trying to keep us in the customs union, which wouldn't give us the right to leave. Mrs May is going cap in hand. Now, I think this is all a big act. We know that May was a Remainer anyway. We know that the vast majority, even in the Conservative Party, are Remainers. But although the actual rank and file of the Conservative Party are Leavers, so they're Brexiteers. So what they want to do is just rip up their cards and join either the Brexit Party or UKIP. It doesn't actually matter. But this is going to be a disaster as well. Now I come to touching the topic. We've now got the Brexit Party, Nigel Farage's thing. Rather than staying in UKIP, I've got a lot of time and respect for Nigel, but rather than staying in UKIP, which he could have continued in the role he was playing, he's going to come back, and now we're going to split the vote. And it doesn't matter, even if a quarter vote UKIP and two-thirds vote for the Brexit Party, you're still going to split the vote and have a profound effect on what is actually going to happen in the election. So this is for the election. The next election is May the 2nd in England. I think the council elections are up. UKIP's putting over 1,400 councillors up, nearly 3 times as many as they did previously. So UKIP's going to be covering, I think, nearly every council seat. And they're also, but the next election is going to be the European one, which they're on the bounce for that as well. UKIP's probably going to be in more of a stable position because they're already an existing party. So the Brexit Party, it won't be that many people to find to actually get them to fill the constituents. But now they're going to have 2 Leave Party or 2 Brexit parties fighting for the same votes. I don't know if Anne-Marie Waters for Britain as well is going to be doing it as well. So there's going to be a split in the vote, which is an opportunity for Leave people to get in, Remain people to get in. Although, having said that, you've got the Conservative Party, who are basically now, to a large part, Remainers anyway. I'm talking about the Parliamentary Party. You've got the Green Party, they're Remainers. SNP, they're just off the wall Remainers. I mean, they're just talking crazy stuff just now. I've lost all sort of regard for the SNP. I won't be voting for them again. Although we are starting to move more towards independence, which is beneficial. But I'm very concerned about what the future would be. Being part of an undemocratic EU is not independence, just for anybody who believes in independence like myself. But there's going to also be the Chuki and Anna show, who are going to be Remainers as well. You've got the Green Party Remainers, you've got the Plaid as Remainers, and you've got the Social Democratic Party, who are actually Leavers, although I'm sure the Gang of Four who founded the SDP were actually corporatist globalists as well. Corporatist globalists and Remainers are the same thing. And it's funny how they say, the Remainers say that if we voted Brexit, it's going to make you poorer. Nobody knows if it's going to make us poorer. But they want to pander to the large corporations, and rather than developing small corporations and increasing our growth rate, they're wanting to pander to the larger corporations. And we have to also remember that they've already signed up. I mean, one of the things that's happening just now is I was at the Stand Up to Racism, these were white guys telling us you can't be racist to other white guys, just reverse racists themselves. Fat Diane Abbott is the person who heads up that group, and she's probably one of the most anti-white racist people I've seen on the television. I'm sure I would not be able to get away with half of what she's managed to get away with, the fat pudding. So I mean, stand up to racism. But what they have not told you, and even told anybody, is that the corporatist globalists and through the EU have signed up to the Barcelona process, the Union of the Mediterranean. Barcelona process was to allow North Africa and the Near East to actually be able to open up the EEC to start off with. It was a trading organisation. That's the same. A lot of that, the actual people that are coming into Europe have been probably told through George Soros, the open borders and open society, that they're allowed to do it. So the government have used Soros's money and NGOs to increase the flow of people into Europe. The UN Migration Pact in Marrakesh in Morocco, they're allowing people, and so people are getting murdered and getting gang raped. There was another girl getting gang raped in Sweden, and they're just not doing anything about it. I mean, it's absolutely bonkers. And these feminists, these feminazis, it's not, feminism is not about social justice. These are feminazis, like neo-communists, who are now anti-white men, and they're so nasty. It's just absolutely disgusting. Letting people in who are a potential danger to the actual people, the indigenous population, and they don't care. They just don't care. So back to the European, the Conservative Party. So it's about time the Conservative Party splits. The One Nation Conservatives, the Hammond and, they're just horrible people. Hammond and that idiot, what's her name? Can't remember. So those people are one group, and because for years it's been like a double-headed llama, that the two sides of the Conservative Party are wanting completely different things. It's about time the Conservative Party split and just let the Christian Democrats and the Liberal Democrats and the Social Democrats within the Labour Party join into one party so that we know what they're representing, what they're voting for. But believe me, there's very little choice. The SNP are Remainers, the Greens are Remainers, the new party that Subri and Chuki and all that mob have set up are Remainers. Liberal Democrats are Remainers. The Plaid are Remainers as well. I mean, there are only the Brexit Party and UKIP that are going to be as actually independent Brexit parties. And it's better probably that the Conservative Party split. It's probably better as well the Labour Party split. I mean, Corbyn's basically a Marxist, and the Social Democrats and the Marxists don't really get on either. So all of that would be better in one party, and then we would be able to fight it. But we were down at Leith by-election there, and apparently the people down doing the hustings, basically no platform for Britain, UKIP and the Scottish Libertarian Party, and they were not invited. So what they're doing is only having the Remain parties, and anybody who doesn't fit into that is getting deplatformed. In my YouTube, I mean, I had a YouTube channel, or I have a YouTube channel, and now it's over. Well, I was live streaming off the YouTube, but now you have to go over a certain amount of people to actually live 1,000 people, 1,000 subscribers. So if you've not done it, subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys. You've got to go over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube now to live stream. So what they're trying to do is just prevent any sort of discourse. There's Tommy Robinson being no platform on all of the social media outlets. So, I mean, that's not democracy. That's just some way of actually preventing people from actually speaking. If you don't agree with them, you don't agree with them. I don't agree with John McDonnell, but I prefer to. He wouldn't actually have a debate with me, because he just wouldn't debate with me, because they're quite cowardly, because they know that if you get somebody who knows their stuff, they'll get taken apart. So they don't want to debate. They just want to talk at you. And this is the thing, they won't want people like me on Newsnight, or because I would destroy them all. They wouldn't come on with me because they're actually scared. That James O'Brien down in LBC, he's the ultimate bum fighter. I mean, he fights intellectual nobodies. He's not even prepared. He wouldn't have a debate about the Brexit with me. He wouldn't get me on LBC. They fight bums. I mean, they're bum fighters. It's like watching an episode of Rocky fighting intellectual bums. They're not up to what would be required to actually have a proper debate. And when you're actually stage managing the fight, it's obvious. It's obvious. So that's my challenge to LBC. Get us on. Let's speak to James, and let me verbally knock him about the head, because I mean, he just absolute nonsense he talks. So. Can't wait. Theresa May is nearly going to resign. We're nearly getting to the stage where Theresa May she's for the high jump. I mean, she has managed to screw up Brexit. She's done a tremendous job of screwing up Brexit. And I mean, it's a complete mess. Brexit is an absolute complete mess now because of her. Another extension. We're not left on March the 29th. We're kept in. We're going to have a year's extension. 3 years later, we're still not left. The only way we're going to leave if we vote in the general election, it's marginal what the impact would be. Even the local elections, although that would give a grassroots to the MPs if people vote in the local election for Brexit or the Brexit Party or UKIP. But the most important thing is to pull the chain and flush out our MPs. And that would mean actually voting for UKIP or Brexit MPs. The most important thing, and the only thing that's going to change things if we get rid of our political class and actually change it for Brexit parties. And that's the only way things are going to change. So Theresa May has now nearly backed herself into a corner, and she is likely now going to have to resign. I think the countdown's on. She's been dogged in the fact that she's not gone just now, and I certainly wouldn't write her off with her political expediency. But I think she is basically now heading towards a brick wall. And when your car's heading towards the brick wall, you've got no brakes. That's you in a situation. I'm expecting within days that Theresa May will be resigning, and we'll get somebody else in. Now, going back to what I said before, within the Conservative Party, there's this One Nation Tory reform group, Bilderberg-esque, Nebishe, Hammond and Anna Soubry and all those characters, not very nice people, are all involved in this sort of group, be Theresa May as well. That group constitutes, I think, a significant proportion, I would say up to 50% of the Conservative Party are Christian Democrats, not proper Conservatives. And they're able to manipulate the Conservative Party to their will. So I think even if Theresa May goes, we might actually get another Remainer instead of actually getting somebody on the Brexit side. And really what's required to happen is we need to flush out the Conservative Party. And what I mean flush out the Conservative Party, if the 17.4 million people voted for UKIP or the Brexit Party, it just means that we would actually get rid of the whole of the political establishment, which would then be able to bring through a proper Brexit. So that's really the only way that we're going to get a proper Brexit is if we actually vote for a Brexit party. That's it. The Conservative Party, not the Conservative Party, not the Liberals, not the Greens, not the SNP, not Plaid Cymru, not the new Chuki and Soubry show. The only way we're going to do it is if you vote for a Brexit party, and it's not going to matter in the next general election if you vote for one of these Brexit parties. They're only going to win for 5 years, but in that 5 years they would have brought in a proper Brexit. So if the 17.4 million pick a party and they all vote for it, 17.4 million, that means that all of the parties will be flushed through, and we'll get a whole new array of talent in the actual Parliament, which would be absolutely fantastic. It's only going to be for 5 years anyway, so after that you can always change it. But it would guarantee that we would actually get Brexit. So, is Theresa May going to resign, or is she going to be forced to resign by the 1922 committee? And are we going to get another Remainer to finish off the job that the Parliament, the EU, undemocratic EU Parliament, are wanting us to keep us in? And also within the Conservative Party, the Christian Democratic Force, the Tory Reform Group, the One Nation Tories, the TRG, the Bilderbergers, the corporatist globalists. And the corporatist globalists are not just in the Conservative Party, they're the Liberal Democrats, the Chuki Anna show, and the Social Democrats. So you can have like John Major and Tony Blair, Gordon Brown, I would say David Cameron as well, all being basically corporatist globalists, part of this centrist, authoritarian centrist liberalism, whereas I'm a libertarian liberal or a classical liberal, which means that I'm not into the authoritarianness of the European undemocratic EU, where 28 unelected commissioners are dictating our legislation with no manifesto to the people, where the democratically elected parliament can only say yes or no on the actual legislation that's put forward. So it's completely not democratic, guys. And it's not democratic. I mean, there's the SNP want to overturn and revoke Article 50, so our votes don't count. They want a second referendum on Scotland leaving. So the SNP are becoming increasingly undemocratic. And the SNP are now saying, oh, we don't respect the result of the referendum in Scotland, we don't respect the referendum of the result in Britain, we're just going to continually tear up the results. That to me is not democracy. And then we want to join an undemocratic EU where 28 unelected commissioners are dictating our legislation, where this Parliament can only vote yes or no on the legislation that's put through. And the Commission don't give us manifestos. We don't have a choice in this legislation. Completely undemocratic. And this is what the moves are towards a one world government. We've already seen it in Africa, the African Union. They're probably going to have the Afro and the Euro. That's how it's probably going to pan out in the moves towards the one world government. And they are not respecting our democracy anymore. I'm talking about the corporatist globalists. Theresa May. Theresa May is as in bed with the Europeans that's happening in Europe as the Europeans are. She's right on board with the programme. Don't think we've changed anything yet. We have not had a Donald Trump movement. So, I think that's about it, guys. I just want to thank you. I hope you like this. I like this as well. I think that's quite funky. But I think it's really a bad time. I mean, she's completely fucked up Brexit. I mean, it's just unbelievable how bad a job she's done. It's good if you're a Remainer. She's managed to screw it up that badly that they're talking about revoking Article 50 or getting a second referendum because they didn't like the first referendum result. Although we never had a referendum to join the EU in the first place, we only had a referendum to join the European Economic Community. So, completely undemocratic. The corporatist globalists, the One Nation Tories, the Bilderberg Group, all the same thing, the Tory Reform Group, all the same thing, are undemocratic. And they don't respect your votes. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, guys. I love you guys. I hope that was informative. I love talking about politics, you know that. And I wish Stephen Alexander and all the other guys down who are standing for the council election down in Leith all the best as well. And yeah, so I may have a bit of an announcement. We're going to actually do more stuff. We're going to do more journalism. We've got ways of contributing. I was wanting to go and do the Gilets Jaunes protests in Paris and actually go and film them and actually interview some of the guys who are protesting over there so we can get what's actually happening in France. Quite happy to put myself in harm's way to get the best stories, guys. So don't worry about that. All you need to do is contribute in the actual descriptions below and I'll leave different methods. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. I need 1,000 subscribers to be able to live stream through YouTube. And we've got some interesting stuff coming up. Guys, my baby gorillas, I love you guys. Thanks for watching.